The Endgame now. Following the world premiere of Avengers Endgame on Monday, April 22nd in downtown Los Angeles, Marvel Studios lifted the social media embargo on first reactions to the superhero epic. Spoiler-free, of course. Those fortunate enough to attend the screening ahead of the film's theatrical debut later this week raced to Twitter to pour out praise by the bucketful, with critics, journalists, and members of the media lionizing it as a perfect combination of the last 11 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One common thread: this movie is going to make you cry like crazy.
This is a hot, hot movie. I didn't see the ending because I was crying too much. I give it 3 hot, wet kisses.
Mashable's Angie J. Hahn, who admitted she wasn't much of a fan of Infinity War, wrote that Endgame is, quote, an immensely satisfying payoff, not just to Infinity War but to all the films that came before it. Brandon Davis of comicbook.com had powerful words to offer regarding Avengers Endgame. He tweeted, #Avengers Endgame is an astonishing, amazing film. I've never seen anything like it. This movie is everything I wanted it to be and so much more. Amazing. While watching Avengers Endgame, I laughed so loud, I clapped with so much force, and I cried so hard. The movie exceeds every expectation and is the perfect combination of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fandango managing editor Eric Davis also noted that Endgame is a flawless, intelligent coming together of the 21 films that preceded it, further teasing that the flick's ending is a rousing one. Avengers Endgame is a masterful epic, a true culmination of 22 films that not only concludes the story, but expands upon it. You'll learn more about the other movies while this one unfolds. If Infinity War is the brawn, Endgame is the brains. And wow, what an ending. He added in follow-up tweets that Endgame stands as its own entity that complements Infinity War, even though the two films were shot back-to-back and do deal with the same major threat in the intergalactic tyrant Thanos. Meanwhile, audiences should be ready to check their pride at the door and prepared to bawl their eyes out and laugh hysterically while watching Endgame unfold. Do not go in expecting Infinity War Part 2. The two films are so different, yet complement each other in all the best ways. In terms of which MCU movie to watch beforehand, honestly, all of them. What an experience, what an accomplishment. Not going to spoil anything at all, but I will say I laughed, I cried, I cheered, I laughed, I cried again, and then the entire audience gave it a massive standing ovation. And then I cried again. Be ready, kids, be ready. Peter Serretta of /Film tweeted that Avengers Endgame is incredibly emotional, apparently due to both what happens within the film and what the movie means to the larger picture of the MCU. Imagine the best possible version of Avengers Endgame, and somehow the film still surpasses all expectations. I cried 5 to 6 times. It's the most emotional, most epic MCU film. A tribute to 10 years of this universe, and holy the great fan service in this movie. So good. Movie Trivia Schmodown creator Christian Harloff agreed, writing, "Man, Avengers Endgame kicked my ass. It was an epic conclusion to 11 years of films. It had laughs, incredible action, and absolute emotional rollercoaster. It was a series finale for this cast of characters that I had been hoping for. Congrats to all for pulling off the feat." Beatrice Verhoeven, senior film reporter at The Wrap, has something surprising to say to fans. None of the theories they came up with had braced them for Endgame. So I just saw Avengers Endgame and you guys aren't ready for all the theorizing didn't prepare you for this. I cried a lot. I flung my hands in the air and screamed out loud. It's incredible. Dave Itzkotz of the New York Times was so emotionally involved in the film that he wound up questioning his own parentage. I was not prepared for the range of emotions that Endgame put me through, from utter despair to pure elation. I laughed, I cried, I wish Tony Stark was my dad. Let's quickly check in with Tony Stark to see how he feels about that. Dennis Sheng of Collider Video praised Avengers Endgame as, quote, an achievement in blockbuster filmmaking, and said Avengers Endgame is filled with so much comic book awesomeness that you may not be ready. Of course, not everyone completely freaked the hell out on Twitter. Variety's Matt Donnelly kept his reaction to Endgame simple but impactful. Incredible ingenuity and commitment. Marvel and Disney can and should be proud of this moment. Aaron Crouch of The Hollywood Reporter added to the chorus of people singing Endgame's praises, noting that most of what fans have seen of the film thus far through trailers and TV spots barely scratches the surface of the full flick. 90% of the Avengers Endgame footage that's been officially released is from the first 15 minutes. Other than the actual surprises, the biggest surprise to me was how funny it is. Cinema Blend's Eric Eisenberg offered a response to Endgame that will give you chills. This can't be understated. Avengers Endgame is everything you want it to be and more. I am absolutely floored. A perfect reflection on the last 11 years that pays off everything in the best way possible. Without question, my new favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe film, Stunned. Perry Nemiroff of Collider had a similar reaction, though she warned that Endgame does at times feel overwhelming. In all, Nemiroff feels that everything leading up to the film and to the film's conclusion was worth it. Hashtag Avengers Endgame is a lot. Too much at times. But wow, the payoff is huge. Left me proud to have invested over a decade in a franchise that delivers an inspiring exploration of what it means to be family and a hero. Endgame also now has one of my favorite shots in the entire MCU. Really? Better than this shot?
2, 1.
Or this shot? Overall, response to Avengers Endgame has been overwhelmingly positive. Critics have called it everything from the greatest superhero movie ever, to entertainment from beginning to end, to film of the year. As always though, these are just a selection of reactions to a film that everyone is bound to have different opinions about. The fantastic feedback should make fans giddy as they await the premiere of Avengers Endgame on Friday, April 26th, when they'll have the chance to offer their own thoughts on the superhero epic. Until then, sit tight and avoid spoilers. And when the time comes, as one critic advised, plan your bathroom breaks accordingly. And whatever you do, don't be like Iron Man.
You know, the question I get asked most often is, Tony, how do you go to the bathroom in the suit? Just like that.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos.